Also, just starting to stream on YouTube as well. Thanks for joining in. Nice to see a few people in the Discord, see a few people trickle into the YouTube as well. But yeah, this week in the Shared Project live streams, which we do every week, and we have been doing for about a year now, which is quite impressive, quite surprising. Yeah, we had checking out the very first live streams. But yeah, for anyone who doesn't know what these live streams are, they are just weekly roundups of this shared virtual production Unreal Engine project that we've been making here at Offworld Live. We've been using Offworld Live tools and a lot of Unreal Engine magic to create some awesome stuff using mostly in regards to getting real life people, real life talent into Unreal Engine scenes, so you can do stuff like virtual production, AR kind of elements, do this, and more recently we've been looking at doing this for podcasts as well. I think it's a really cool way to get a fun kind of multimedia podcast going on. So yeah, this shared project has just been aimed to be something that's open source and just take some of the capabilities of the Offworld Live Toolkit, but also just has a load of useful general Unreal Engine stuff going on. And yeah, this week I kind of wanted to just round up what we've got, because I'm actually taking 3 weeks off after this, so I'm taking most of December off, which would be great, and charge up for the next year. But yeah, since this is kind of my last one for the year, and we've been doing this. This one says it was streamed a year ago. I have a feeling it's more like summer this year that we started this, but yeah, rounds off a year of additions to this shared project, this repo. So yeah, so it'll just be quite good to round it off. But yeah, it's just checking through some of these old videos just to see like where it's come from, you know, where it started. And this to be fair was already fairly late on in the kind of the iterations of this stuff. We've been already doing a lot of level building stuff, and we didn't really know what exact shape the shared project was kind of taking. We didn't know we sort of knew it was going to be a GitHub repo, but we didn't know the best ways to kind of educate people within the project. And that's kind of where these live streams, the reason these live streams have started here is because we realized that pairing it with these live streams and a few tutorials is a really nice way to kind of show off what you can do in the project. There was a previous version where I was had a load of cards inside these levels. I even had like third person running around stuff, and just that in that sense kind of giving a 3D slideshow of what you would do. But we realized it's just kind of, or just give people the sandbox to work in, and then just provide kind of content on the side. Help with that. But yeah, these level building tools, that's all still in there. It's all still stuff we can use. Just go back again, to be fair. Yeah, number one, that was, yeah, just these level building tools, and just made a load of assets. All of these assets are still there. It's just quite nice building blocks, kind of nice modular pieces, creating a level. I think the idea of this one is that I was just going to sit and just make a level within the hour to show how quickly you can kind of whip this stuff up, and go through many iterations as well of different kind of scenes that you want to make. Yeah, we've still got all of these assets included in the project. It's a lot of like nice modular stairs pieces and nice pieces that fit together, so you can work in snapping. You can have your snap on and just build out stuff like Minecraft quite quickly. You've got something quite complex and interesting. So yeah, that was the first thing, was like modular building blocks and pieces. Obviously didn't want to go too far into this route of creating kind of environmental stuff, but you know, functional stuff and configs for the more complex kind of compositing stuff that people would be doing. We realized that's where the real value was. But this is a nice kind of light rig that works in editor. So I think this one was showing kind of how you can make your own light rig based off of the in editor tick that I've given. and then create cool stuff where all of your lights in your scene will like follow target points, things like that, so you can get these real like show like lights going on, which is really fun. Not going to go through every single one of these, but I just think it's quite fun to see where all this stuff kind of started compared to where it's at now, you know. Let's double check the live stream's still running. Yeah, all good. We've got Chipco in here, nice to see you. An experienced 3D modeler can create a level. Well, hopefully it's bringing that barrier in a little, you know. Instead of 3D modeling every single thing, you're working with building blocks instead. That's the kind of idea, but it still takes practice for sure. You're very right there. But yeah, just this whole, you go to this live section of our channel, we can see that we've just got hours and hours and hours of showing off stuff we've been working on, and you just see all the different iterations it's gone through. I feel like obviously the real useful nuggets of information are strewn across a big long set of live streams, but you know, if anyone's willing to leave something on in the background, you could find some. It's interesting to see the whole process that this has all gone through. This is quite cool where we got into the kind of sequence switching stuff. Really interesting to see all the different iterations this has gone through, because this whole screen setup with the borders and everything I had made as one iteration, but totally changed. Yeah, this one's nice and chaptered. Might have to go through and chapter a lot of these, but yeah, so for one you could do stuff with sequencer, but then I'm just showing how you can create different layouts and like move things and hide things within blueprints as well. Yeah, and it had this kind of radial menu, which was quite nice. Showed I could go from layout to layout. Because you can't just do this with a sequence, because you would have, like, sequences only go one way, whereas if you're going into blueprints, you can just say, from the point that the screen was at, go from there to the new point, where I had to jump into blueprints. But yeah, just wanted to just show that there's a hell of a lot of live streams here, and it's just interesting to see the whole progression. And obviously, thanks everyone who's been here for the ride throughout it. Really cool. So we're trying to round this off by the end of the year in a way. Going to go into some tracked camera tutorials and things after next year, but I want to round off this project, show basically how it can be used, and then also just have some real in-depth tutorials to go along with it as well, so that you can really just jump in and start using this in your own way. You know, the idea is really like, this is all examples, but you can make any studio you like. There's been there's already tutorials that we've made on like importing whole levels from other places. Oh, we might not have released those actually, but that would definitely be one of the tutorials. Is, you know, import a whole different studio that you might have downloaded or bought from Marketplace, import it into this config, and then all the compositing of really nice non-anti-aliased footage is already done for you. So you could just, you know, swap in your own media. Got this screen, but you could reposition this screen or fully get rid of it if you wanted to, or make two if you wanted to. But you know, the idea is that it's pretty plug and play, and also some people quite like to work backwards from like a finished project that they see, and yeah, hopefully this can just be something that we can get their teeth into, and just bring this process a bit quicker for people, because the whole compositing and everything, setting up composure, can be really tricky. I would also note that we're working on a media plate that just doesn't use Composure at all. That should be such a game changer. I'm really excited about this because it could just mean that we don't have to do any of this. The frame rate here being the main thing. As soon as we turn that off, we're up to 50. Still not great for the scene, but see that Composure is just re-rendering the whole scene a second time. So that performance here is just, gotta find another way around that. So yeah, we're looking at making a media plane that just sits in space and also doesn't have this kind of smudging, anti-aliasing problem. So hopefully that could really free up these kind of studios to be even more. You just have way more headroom for doing cool things in the scene. You know, if you're not, if you don't have this setback of having, you know, re-rendering the whole scene. So exciting things for that for the future. But you know, this does run. It runs quicker at runtime, but I'm still only getting like 30 FPS tops, which, you know, not ideal. But with the media plate coming in, you know, that should provide a really cool solution for making cool stuff like this. Something that I thought was quite cool with this is I did make this HUD for the podcast level, the other level, but you can totally just set it to work in a new level if you want to. This HUD here basically just triggers loads of different sequences. So these are lighting presets, but they are still just sequences that I'm triggering. These are like whole room kind of presets, but again, it's just level sequences. There is the point that I made earlier about, you know, not being able to, if you go from this one to this one, it can get a bit weird. You can jump around. So you need to kind of set one, reset it, set the other one, reset it. But I figured it becomes easier to just slot your own stuff into this if it's all sequences. So something we kind of worked out over time. Screen hidden and shown. Screen input I haven't set up yet. But yeah, it's just interesting how you can totally just slot this into a new level, and the way you might do that is go into like world settings over here and set the default pawn class, and then set the HUD class, HUD based setup. And then with that class set, which you could also do by saying VP game mode, in whatever level you're in, you'll also always get this HUD show up and all the functionality will be there. So this HUD comes up on begin play, and it just calls on a animation selector blueprint. So it's just communicating with another blueprint in the level, a few other blueprints in the level actually. But so this is quite a cool way to do it. You got the HUD, which is the main control, and you got the blueprints in the level, which actually do things. So you can like kind of explore these. This one shows and hides meshes. You can call on some custom events in this, which will show and hide meshes. This one is light control for the whole room, so all the emissive materials. This is the VP pawn. That doesn't actually need to be in there. Worked out after. This is quite cool. Just a slightly modified media output. So I've just made this extra boolean here that says record on begin play. So if you've got that ticked and you press play, you need to set your output file directory, but you will you'll get your take just recorded to disk right away as long as that's checked. There's just a slight modification on our media output. Level loader. This I've kind of axed because I was getting into the whole using sequences to change the level instead of just showing and hiding whole levels. But this is still functioning. You would have to just check this level streaming to show that you are using level streaming, and you'd have to put the same levels that you have in this list into this levels list, and then you can call on custom events to load different levels here. Animation selector, this is the key one at the moment. This is actually what the HUD is mostly calling on, just this animation selector. Pretty much everything is going through this, and I've split it up into different kinds of sequence. So we've got screen sequences. That's just the screen here that goes up and down. But you can make your own screen sequence and just load it into here, and then it would always run when you press the right button in the HUD. The screen 1, screen 2 buttons. Stinger sequence. So that was the overlay videos. That is blank at the moment actually, because I've been doing it all through HUD instead. That's something we could look at, how to make loading your own stingers in there a bit easier. Presets, that's the whole level transformation ones. Yeah, again, it's just a very short sequence, very simple thing, but the HUD is set up so that on the first press of the button, it's going to play forwards. On the second press, it's going to play backwards. Pretty simple. And then lighting presets, they are again just sequences. They don't do anything. You could program any movement or whatever. Again, it's just a sequence, but I'm just separating out to keep it clear, just keeping the lighting in one place. So there's those two, and then there's a reset button in the HUD, which will just stop both of those sequences. And then camera moves. This is kind of the main one. All your different camera movements. So that's just how I've done sort of jumping from camera to camera. Sequences again. So yeah, that's how I've done most of the functionality in the level. It's kind of actually, I just think it's the most simple and adaptable way. You know, now people jumping in who don't know blueprints but might know animation and sequencing and stuff can just make their own level sequence, load it into here, and they know that it's going to correspond to the buttons in the HUD right off the bat. Yeah, I'll just show that again. All your camera moves, which you can make whatever camera movement you like. Even animate other things on these button pushes if you want to. And then, yeah, presets. Reset button should work. Yeah, you can always reset that. Lighting presets. Lighting reset, screen movement, screen up and down, screen input I need to set up for this level, and then stingers, that would just be whole videos that overlay over everything. So yeah, that's where it's at the moment. It's really cool to see the progression. Also, just it's gone through so many iterations. I think this is just the simplest way to do it all through sequences. And yeah, it's quite funny because it's gone through more complex versions, like the whole TV switcher one. This is just kind of the most streamlined. But yeah, Alejandro, not able to download from the GitHub. The demo version looks like it's from 2 or 3 months ago. Interesting. I think after this tidy up, I'll do another kind of commit and double check that that's all going through. So yeah, the link on the website is old. That is correct. So it's best to go. For now, you can go to the GitHub instead, where you find the most up-to-date release. I just need to push a new release with a tag, and then it should update the website. But we're just trying to get this kind of final roundup done before we put another release on the website. So just gonna find you the link here. Yeah, here's the page to download from. I think it's best if you clone the repo instead of downloading the zip. I know some people are having problems with the plugin not being included. If you want to download the zip and try it, it might show the plugin was built with a different engine version. Gonna figure out a way to totally streamline that. I think that's why we were committing to the website before. Download and extract wasn't the best for me. We'll try cloning next. Yeah, I think again it's like once we tidy up this last release, we'll look at just getting it super downloadable. I think it's just that the plugin is too big for git ignore, and so that's why we do the website release as well, so that we can just upload it via, like, I think we could just got another hosting website, and yeah, that's why the online one might work better. Looks like we do have the toolkit in here, so interesting. And yeah, we're just ignoring intermediate binaries. Source third party could be something. I was able to recompile the plugin once I had Visual Studio with Windows SDK. That is useful, yeah. Yeah, interesting. We'll have to do some tests on that for sure. But yeah, thanks for flagging that up. Yeah, maybe try cloning it to your GitHub desktop if you want to get your hands on it. Now, yeah, interesting about the recompiling. That's come up, but yeah, we'll look into that for sure. I'll just chuck this link in here as well. Different engine versions, would you like to rebuild them? Yeah, the try rebuilding from source manually. So if you say, are you able to remove the plugin and then say no to rebuilding? Was that something that worked for you, Tom? Moving it didn't work. Yeah, it's something I'm gonna do. Gonna do some tests. Change the project file to exclude the out plugin. So the fact that the following modules were built with a different engine version, can you do the thing where it makes you, or maybe try doing this, launching 5.2. Just to make sure it's opening it in the right engine version. Because for me, what I was getting was an Unreal error where it would assume that I'm opening stuff in 5.1, or maybe that's because I've like set it as the default. I didn't know how to reset that. But yeah, if you go and launch the specific engine version and just go from this launcher and go browse and find the project directory there, and then go open from there by opening the right version. We'll try and get this a lot easier, because it's not ideal having to do that anyway. I think when we push this new onto the website, it should have the toolkit just fully included. Shouldn't get these problems. Yeah, let me know if opening with that specific engine version fixes it. But yeah, that's where we're at with the project. I'm glad we got some interest and glad there's some people wanting to download it. Hopefully it'll be useful, interesting stuff you can use, stuff you can pull from. But yeah, let us know if there's anything else virtual production wise, any questions you got, any thoughts. Yeah, feel free. In Windows Explorer you can right mouse click on the project file and choose switch Unreal Engine version. Yeah, that's also possible. For me, I didn't have that option, so that's why I did that other method. Been a really annoying one. I don't know if it's a Windows 11 thing. Don't have the switch Unreal Engine version. Followed some tutorials as well of how to try and enable it within the project file, but yeah, Windows 11 thoroughly annoying in a lot of ways. It seems to run way worse in the background with stuff like Unreal Engine running. If I'm like in a Google Meet and I'm doing stuff in Unreal Engine, it's almost impossible to share it. That's why I figured out using OBS and virtual camera for Discord. That was the only way I could get it to play without being super laggy. Right? Well, like Discord in general is better for screen sharing, but yeah, things like Google Meet, only since turning on to Windows 11, just had problems with. Seems like just rendering to two screens. It doesn't like weirdness, and just a lot of weirdness. Really annoying. I want to go back to Windows 10 really. A lot of just UI stuff, like pulling tabs to one side. Yeah, that works normally that time. But on my second screen, it automatically, if I'm trying to do that, it will automatically go like this. Like, I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for 4 screens. Very annoying. Just basic quality of life changes that are just not upgrades. It's awful. Yeah, do strongly avoid Windows 11. Not the one. People who haven't seen it, I can show you the podcast level as well. Oh yeah, there is one change I've made to this. I've put some placeholder people in this to see how it'll run. And, again, it's like 29 FPS tops, and it's just not ideal, so really, really pushing to get this new media plate made. It's already looking really good. It's already sitting in space and getting shadows and stuff, non-anti-aliased. We're now looking at just doing foreground elements in front of this media plate, and with that we'll have already something that's pretty usable for scenarios like this. But yeah, in the current composure setup, it's a bit slow. But yeah, I got these dudes in to sort of show how you could do this with 3 cameras. So say you've got like one close up here, one close up there, and one 2-shot. And it integrates quite nicely into the whole level sequence situation. So obviously the placement's just dumb, but it's just to show it working really. So camera 1 in the center, camera 2 on the right, camera 3 on the left, and we're just showing and hiding media plates at the same time. You can have this sense of having 3 static cameras that sort of give the illusion of the whole depth of the scene. Probably wouldn't work quite so well with moving, but depends what you're going for. But yeah, level also up for grabs. You can see how the HUD works across 2 levels, which is nice. Yeah, the recompiling in Visual Studio is a solution, fairly long one. Visual Studio is also like 20 gigs or so, isn't it? But it can be useful. There can be other times that it comes up that you need to recompile your another Unreal Engine project from like source, so can be a good skill to have. It's not too difficult, is it? It's quite a simple tutorial on recompiling from source. It's just a couple steps. Did I just make that fully land upside down? That was amazing. I just think as soon as you make little bits of functionality like this as well, you can just play with it for ages. It's such a good way to make a, you know, you can see like a weather channel or something where just suddenly the cliffs come out from under here and, you know, it's all windy and stuff. Yeah, once you make these little bits of functionality that just work live, it's very, very cool. And, you know, hopefully this makes it a bit easier because it's just level sequence stuff. I love this reset button as well. They kind of skip around a little bit to get it right. And then also if you bring the screen out, it knocks the speaker over. Love that. Loads of fun. The HUD could be ported onto a web interface. Interesting, yeah. So it could be controlled like by a machine on the same network. Absolutely. We do have some web stuff in here. I was doing it in the other level, I think. One of these, you know, remote control thingy. It's an interesting one actually because the HUD events aren't like, so with these, when you have this open, you can, I don't know, like click on something and you have these eyes which then give you you know, your kind of variable that you can control from this remote web app thingy. But the HUD, it doesn't have these visible, right? So because it's not variables, I don't know exactly how that would work. That's another interesting one to look into. So I think when I was doing it with sequences, I was using a boolean because that is a variable that you can expose to this. What's it called? Remote control actor. Is that right? Just Google it, see if anyone's done it. Not seeing anyone who's doing it with a HUD. Be a useful one to work out then. It's annoying because it's variables, not event triggers. Event trigger. Or if you had like C++ knowledge, you could totally do it. Of course. Because you can like, you can really make custom ones as well instead of just using the kind of preset ones that they give you. So you can make it. This one here is a total custom OSC thingy. It takes ages to make it, so it's really useful that they give you this kind of remote control preset one. But yeah, triggering events through this remote control thing. Quite tricky. Yeah, so I did work out the triggering sequences. What I did was I just had a sequence and on tick it was checking whether it's playing or not with a boolean, and then through the remote control app I used the boolean to say is or isn't playing. That was the workaround I found in the end. So you know, because you can't trigger an event, I had to just on tick check whether that boolean was set or not, which is not it's not the best thing to do, because if you've got loads and loads of events and stuff, really messy, I think. So I don't know if that's the best solution, but it's a way to do it. I don't know, maybe it's not even a bad thing to do it like that. Like remote control triggers, you know. And this will have event tick is playing. What should we do? Yeah, see is playing. Let's do level sequence 1 playing. And then you know if that's exposed. I'm gonna work on event tick. Oh yeah, so we can do that, and then we can do any custom event. Get the selector blueprint. Right, that's a variable, so we can use it somewhere else in the blueprint. Great spelling. I can call any event off of this. So I think I've got a load of sequences. Sequence 1. So if playing is true, we will set sequence 1 to play. We want it to play just once, so at the end of this, we can set this to false again. Like maybe that's an alright way to do it. But you'd have to run every single, you'd have to make a sequence here and do this same like boolean check for every one that you want as part of the web control interface. So this should play sequence 1 remotely. If we put the remote control trigger in here, we've got the level sequence 1 playing, remote control preset. This is now exposed. Your web app. And then, okay, so in this design properties is playing toggle okay, that's the toggle. XR related holiday party on Friday. Where's my invite? That sounds amazing. Well, I hope you did enjoy that. That's really cool. Ask if anyone's familiar with RC web interface. Ask, yeah, very cool. Just maybe also like if they have a better way of doing it through blueprints than this. It's in Marina Del Rey, come by. Yeah. If only I was within reach of the Marina Del Rey. Let's check this out. Let's see if this works. So, yeah, that switched. So that's a way to do it. I might just chuck in a few more of these and see if that works with you. But you can see that it just checks it for one tick and then stops it again. Might not be the best way, but works. So what I would do is just do another boolean for level sequence 2 playing. I mean, we could just call them level sequence 2. And do all of this. Swap these out. And change this for sequence 2. And I need to expose this one to the remote control. Doohickey. Oh, and it needs a rebind because I changed the name of the variable. Do now. Launch that. Design, properties. Delete that one. Drag these two in. Should have the ability to switch these two now. Yeah. Oh, I need switching off again. Interesting. Guess it's weird because the boolean is being set by the blueprint, but that's not going through to the remote interface. Weirdly enough. You click it twice. I'm sure there's a more clever way to do this. But yeah, that does do it. That's the first thing that came to mind for kind of turning an event into a variable in a way. Recently been looking at timer on event. Set timer by function name. Looking at this recently, that's quite useful. Maybe there's something here that we can use. Because this is like, instead of using just the overall event tick, you can use just timer for that one function. So it's really nice because you can have stuff multi-thread ticking along on different timers at the same time instead of just one overall event tick. So timer by function name can kind of split it out a bit. I might look into that and try and familiarize myself with what that does. Maybe there's something there for triggering sequences. But in this one, it does untick itself when it goes to the remote one. like the remote one is not, it's like a one-way street, isn't it? It's not getting feedback. Like, I bet if another blueprint triggered this, it wouldn't change in the engine. Let's see if we can test that. So if just quite simply, this could set this one, couldn't it, to be true. So that one, that's false. Pressing this one should turn this to true if we're getting that feedback from the engine. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it looks like you can't change the web. It's not a two-way thing. You know, this is a one. This sends the commands. It doesn't receive information. Seems like. But yeah, let me know if you Well, yeah, let me know how that meetup goes, and if anything comes up, conversation with all that. Yeah, the remote control stuff is really cool. Wonder if someone at this party could have some more information on it. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I'll get in contact for just virtual production stuff. I mean, you're already thoroughly in there, so I'm thinking about web interface version. Directed DP script yet to include starting recording, syncing the camera, recorder, recorders, there's things happening in the environment. Yeah, triggering sequences, monitoring lighting. Yeah, you just have a whole team on the one project, right? Just they've got their own lane, they've got their own things that they can and can't control. Yeah, it's an awesome way to streamline it, especially if you've got a big team. I wonder how many controls you can get in on one level. I mean, you wouldn't want more than a handful, but I wonder if you get any conflicts in the messages, you know, if like, or delays, you know, if someone else is sending a through. I think it should probably handle quite a lot. Interesting on there. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap this one up. I'll jump on a call after this, but yeah, last one for the year. Thanks so much everyone who's followed along. It's been really great to have all your energy on this and all your suggestions and stuff. And obviously, wouldn't be where it is without you lot. So really appreciate that. Be coming back onto it strong next year. Maybe a bit less shared project stuff. Gonna try to wrap this up, but we'll still be. There might be something going on. We'll still be, of course, developing awesome virtual production stuff and general media in and out, Unreal Engine stuff. Yeah, all the best. Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. I know it's pretty early for me to be saying that, but yeah, I'll still be around on the Discord if anyone wants to chat. But yeah, just thanks so much again for all the input. Cheers.